Alright, atomic research done. And it is 1940. We're going to get the new close air support. And we probably have another injection of guns to send to the Germans. That's still in process. That's still in process. Who else can we send to? Ukraine, but I have a feeling that Ukraine's basically already fallen. We could send to the PSA. In fact, I think that is something I'm going to do. We'll send to the PSA. I'm basically just trying to support them everywhere at this point. It's like, don't die! Please, just don't die. Zero? Oh, that's current production. Yeah, I don't want to send those. 924. 79. 402. 45. 18. One thing I should actually double check is how many convoys these guys will have. Because I have almost 500. I can send some if they need them. Where can I see that? You have sufficient. You've definitely got sufficient. Austria might. Ethiopia declared war on Somalia. That's a war that's been brewing for a while. Austria. Oh, that's true, yeah. Our stuff is going through Bulgaria, Romania, then into Austria. I think that Austria is recovering. It's a slow process, but I think they are. The other one that I'm somewhat tempted to send reinforcements to would be to Sicily's. Fall of Shanghai. Despite the city's nominal international protections, Japanese troops seized Shanghai today, rapidly overwhelming the local police and the garrison forces and raising their banners across the Bund. Only a few years ago, such an action would certainly have been met by international outrage. But conflict elsewhere has left few able to offer meaningful protection to the Shanghaiese people. Japanese soldiers have already begun the process of looting the area outside the old international settlement, where most foreigners are thus far unscathed, but not without worry. Before we do this, I want to see how close Two Sicilies is to capitulation, because I have a feeling that is going to be a cause for concern. Actually, they're a long way away. Because Sicily itself hasn't fallen yet. Alright, you guys are lacking convoys. I can see that at the top here. That's okay. I can send you some. Say 50. Shanghai has capitulated. Two Sicilies have accepted. Alright, so Iran is building up new troops now. That's good. And yeah, it is immediately sending off those weapons. Guangxi military government took 13 states left Kuomintang have been annexed. So Guangxi is now growing. Qing is definitely beating Fentian in Japan. Do not get to see that very often. India. I think Dominion of India is going to be our next target for weaponry shipments. In fact, the weapons to Austria and Germany have already gone through. Portugal's gone. Collapse of the Portuguese Empire. With enemy forces approaching Lisbon, the Portuguese government has decided their position is unsustainable. Given the relative protection of the Lisbon port and the cover of the Portuguese navy, they have embarked onto their ships with as many soldiers and loyalist followers as they could transport and fled into exile. As they regroup in faraway colonies, the future of the Portuguese nation remains uncertain, with their government on the run and their homeland occupied for the foreseeable future. Is this the end of the Portuguese Empire? Carlos Spain is going to get squashed the instant it enters the war now that Portugal's fallen. Yeah, probably. Unless these guys all leave, which... Nah, that's not likely. Right, how's the construction coming along? Slowly but surely. CSA and Canada made peace. Canada and Mexico made peace. That's bad for the PSA. I'm guessing that they're just out of manpower. That's always their problem. They're on all adult serve. You're on service by requirement. Look how much manpower they have in comparison, though. Yeah. GG PSA. You tried. You came so close. French-speaking Canadians have long opposed conscription, viewing the idea as fighting wars on behalf of the British as offensive. Now that the Canadian government has enacted full conscription in the country, the response across the French-speaking provinces of Quebec has been swift. French Canadians have taken to the streets in massive crippling protests. It's a reenactment of the conscription crisis of 1917. Although this time, it seems the French Canadians have lost their patience. Again and again, we're called upon to shed French blood on behalf of the English wars, Quebec Premier Maurice Duplessis told an angry crowd in Quebec City. We say no, and they tell us we must. Quebec will never be free of English tyranny as long as this is the lapdog of English politicians. I know I'm not from Quebec, but I don't understand this. Like, you're literally also fighting for French Republic to regain France? So it's not like you're just fighting for the English? But that might just be because they care more about Quebecois rather than France. I don't know. Alright, or Quebec, not Quebecois. Quebecois are the people from Quebec. Naval mission efficiency, don't really care about that. Ground support, I definitely do. Get me more of that. Quebec is special, and during this time it was extra special. They don't really like France either, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I guessed. Alright, no, I don't think I need to import anything. I was going to check something. Air Force. How am I doing for aircraft? We're getting a tiny CAS surplus. I really need to ratchet up my fighter production. I think that's going to be our next objective. More fighters. Wonder why conscription crisis in Quebec became front page news in Turkey. I mean, news everywhere is important to us at the moment. Alright, we've got the Statutes of Autonomy. Okay, we need to do 4 of the 5, and we can do all of them except for this one. Because we don't own Baku or Azerbaijan. That's fine. We can do the ones that we need to do. Alright, Azerbaijan, Kurdistan, Kazakhstan, Egypt, or Sudan. Where is resistance worst? So that's here, 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 no, here. Well, I'm going to say Egypt just because it's the... No, Kurdistan and then Egypt. Because Kurdistan is still legit a problem. Stretching from Anatolia to Iran and various Kurdish fiefdoms of old have finally been integrated into the same state. After centuries of division between the Persian and the Ottoman suzerains, the huge divide between the Kurdish tribes in language, culture and religion has made it difficult to foster a strong nationalist entity, something our government now hopes to exploit to install a sense of Ottomanism. And we have lots of guns. I think... I'm actually going to send them to India. Losing India would be a big blow. And I just feel like India would be an easy one to equip with low quality kit like we're sending. Because these are all the guns that we're basically just replacing from our own regiments. I wonder how many old weapons we're still actually using. 62. 8. And that is a question I can actually answer, which we will do so soon. That's a lot of Iranian weaponry we're sending to India. This all goes across land, because we've got the land border. And then I'm going to click on random unit number 3. And we're still using a lot of old equipment. Like, there is a lot of stuff to flush out of the system. In addition, during World War I, they were forced to conscript, which most of the Quebec opposed, as they felt it was an Englishman's war, not a Canadian war, even though most of the war was in France. This was heightened by a lot of anti-French policy stances the federal government took. It was a moment that challenged Canadian unity and still has reverberations to this day. Yeah, I knew that. Quebec split into people who think France betrayed them and the English conquered them, people who think France betrayed them. When they secularized during the revolution, a small number were actually like France. We in Quebec do not see France as our homeland. They abandoned us back in the 7 Years' War. Since then we started seeing ourselves as our own separate people. I love how imperialist this game is. Here, have guns we don't use anymore to get yourselves killed en masse to hurt people we hate. Yeah, that's just the nature of proxy war, which is 100% what we're doing right now. We are becoming the world's arsenal because America can't do it. The fall of Batavia. Today it was announced that Batavia, the centre of the Dutch East Indies, has fallen. The city has been under the control of the Dutch since 1619, rising to become the jewel of the Dutch Empire in the region. In a proclamation from the Palais Koningsplein, the Japanese general in charge of the occupation attempted to reassure the local population, promising no harm would come to them. With the fall of Batavia, the ability of the Dutch East Indies to maintain control of Java and the other islands has suffered a severe blow. So Japan is finally actually starting to do some naval invasions, though I suspect far too little and far too late. Also, Siam is actually fighting Burma, which should be helping the Dominion, because Burma is now not fighting alongside Baratia. It's just annoying that Baratia seems to be doing so well right now. Stop that! You're not allowed to be winning. And I've just realised I'm still using a bunch of armoured cars on occupations. Are they still needed? Here they are. And Jerusalem, they're not. They'll get that kit back soon enough. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and see if I can reduce... Oh, wow. Erevan. Not very happy with us. At all. In fact, Erevan, I think I might need to switch you to Riot Police. You guys are fine on local autonomy. Local autonomy, martial law, you're still using police. Autonomy, civilian government, autonomy, military governor and martial law. You know what? We should have enough riot police to do this now. Close enough. Has Baratia had their own civil war yet? No. Papal states have capitulated. Again. Second time. We actually kind of need Bulgaria to not die. You don't have a huge amount of troops left, but I will send you weaponry. Now, Bulgaria is one where I am tempted to send volunteers. And the reason for that is I want them to hold their border so I can keep shipping weapons to Germany and Austria. Because in fact, while Austria is in the war, I can send equipment to Germany overland, which is why these exports have been so quick. So, how many can I send you? Can't do anything until the 26th. One guy. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Kind of limited how much one guy can do. But, that's not to say we're not going to try. Come on. There's a bunch of you who could do a training. Oh. No, there's not. It's just those guys. Okay, so Ferretin Pasha is the one we're sending. With Air Force. So that might be a bad idea. Canada and Venezuela have made peace. Good lord, look how weak that German unit is. Alright, so Germany is super short on equipment. I'm guessing that's not a manpower issue. It's not a manpower issue. Okay, I think we may have just found what the problem is. We just need to flood Germany with equipment. Roger that. Wilco. Really wish there was a button to just send all. Please give me a button to just send all. Order has been restored in Iran. While Iran still labours under Ottoman control, the Ottoman military has asserted enough control over its borders that a semblance of autonomy is now possible. This is not independence, far from it, but it does mean they no longer have to rely on Ottoman troops to secure their borders and are thus not so tightly under our control. So be it. The United Front forms. It seems the Chinese, in their desperation to slow the Japanese invasion of the country, have formed an alliance. Few expected the typically squabbling, cliquish Chinese factions to make such a move, and now many will watch their future with considerable interest. Italian Republic's gone. That's bad. Italy was actually holding out for a really long time, and it also means that Dalmatia is now being supplied rather than overseas. So if we wanted to intervene, that ship may have sailed. Palmiro Togliatti has announced that the cowardly Italian nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of Third International Forces. Aha! Our Bulgarian unit has arrived. There he is. So we're going to give you Osman Ford Effendi. It's going to take you guys a little bit of time to arrive, but that's okay. We're making the last factory in Bursa now. We're losing factories. We had 9. Oh, it's because of the autonomy. God damn it, it's that 10%. Consumer goods. Buganda took 7 states, Burundi took 1, Kivu were annexed. Kivu, rather. War propaganda. Yes, please. Who can I do that against? Just in general. Please do. Yeah, they're winning against the Russians. Ukraine was basically dead. They're coming back. There goes the 2 Sicilies. It may have been a waste sending them equipment. Oh well. Has Germany stabilised? I think they might have. The Empire celebrates Eid al-Fitr. Eid Mubarak. Siam has been annexed. Asia and Burma. Mostly Burma. Hold on, what team are you on? Nobody's. Oh, you're not Third International. Burma's not in the Third International. That's the first time I think I've ever seen that. Interesting. Alright, so I now need to basically split my guns between Germany, Austria, and Dominion of India. Dominion of India is a bit in danger. And probably has the most manpower to make use of. We have another factory. I don't know where you came from, but welcome. Yeah, CNT FAI is losing, which is good. Portugal's back. Portuguese Socialist Republic. Portugal's not back. Portugal's going to screw the Carlists. Alright, I think I'm going to send an injection of 4,000 guns to India. And then after this we'll do probably Austria again. Do. Typing in numbers manually. It is so much fun. Not. Go. Breaking news, this just in, a Turkish division has gotten lost in a training exercise in Nadine. Early reports indicate they've accidentally crossed over the border into Bulgarian or somehow switched their radios to Bulgarian frequencies. Efforts to re-establish contact between them were not met with success. Something like that, yeah. Oh. Big offensives. That's the Germans. That's why Germany's losing, because they're doing these reckless, stupid attacks. How many troops have they lost? Trying to even look at this. 8.2 million losses on the German side to 5.1 million on the British side. Company of France has only lost 1.7 million. Germany's lost 3.8. I mean, 3.8 is not terrible. They can actually absorb those levels of losses. Once they get to about 10 million, that's when Germany is in trouble. But still, ouch. Alright, let's go and reorganize the Egyptian Vilayets. The disaster that befell the Ottoman state in the 19th century, and which was only aggravated at the turn of the 20th century, has now been corrected as Istanbul and Cairo are now fully reunited. To prevent this from happening again, however, the government has decreed an extensive reorganization of both parts of the empire, including economic, administrative, and cultural adjustments. So Cairo gains a bunch of factories, we gain some extra oil, and then a whole bunch of new vilayets are established. What did I get for this one finishing? military factory in Kurdistan. This one increases the amount of oil you get in Baku. Heck yeah. Alright, new technology. Aha! Fighters are finished. Brilliant. It is 1941. You know what I'm missing? Construction speed. Duh! Whole year late. I'm usually really on point with those. Poznik! Thank you very much for the 40-month resubscription. Very much appreciate the ongoing support there. It's always a real pleasure seeing you around. I was actually talking about you yesterday. One of the players is another early Twitch subscriber, and he was complaining how he wasn't the first because you beat him. So thank you very, very much for the ongoing support there, Poznik. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Am I making heavy tanks with that glorious chromium? No, I'm making guns and exporting them. Could send volunteers to other countries moving to Bulgaria. Yeah, it's annoying to do that though. Absolutely nothing to do with the stream, but my 7.2 kilogram monstrosity cat just climbed on the laptop, not jumping, firmly stabbing me to climb on. Ouch. Can't use 100% when sending items. No, that's production. That's not items. Yes, Globy, that was a good explanation. Yeah, I'm basically giving out guns so I don't have to get involved myself. Because what they are low on is equipment. Not manpower. They have plenty of manpower. For the time being, anyway. I wonder how the air war is going. Probably not great. Now I need to buy in some more steel. Thank you, Japan. They do have a lot of aircraft. Not really, actually. No, they're outnumbered in the skies. So yes, I do need to ratchet up aircraft production as well, if I can. Kampfgruppe, so that's my own doctrines improving. Alright, Desperate Defense versus Modern Blitzkrieg. Desperate Defense just gets you recruitable population mostly. And also more resistance damage to our states which are occupied. Fire Brigades increases organisation of infantry and of tanks and motorised mechanised. Backhand blow, armoured car improvements. We use armoured cars pretty heavily. Yep, Modern Blitzkrieg, 100%. Do I have any steel? Not really, I have to buy in most of my steel. One of the reasons I'm really trying to improve my construction industry. Like, once this is all done, I feel like I'll have enough civilian factories to start building militaries. And that's when my economy will really start to roar. We're not quite there yet. Doesn't help that I'm so behind in industrial technologies, though. That's on me. Fall of Barcelona. Reports from Barcelona confirm that the Red Spanish city has been conquered by the advancing Carlist troops after pitched fights across the Serra de Costarola mountain range. Red Spanish forces put up stiff resistance, hoping to delay the Carlist forces for as long as possible, but they were eventually beaten back. PSA is losing heavily. Germany's worse and worse. Carlist Spain won. Oh, the first victory the good guys have had so far.